Can AI find lost 227 million Bitcoin fortune? So a man who lost hundreds of millions on a accidentally binned hard drive is now trying to use AI to find it, but the council will not let him. Typical council.
Yeah, who needs money?
Yeah. Just to give a little bit more context here. So the individual lost the hard drive, and he's used AI to calculate roughly where it would be, I guess in the landfill, in the skip or whatever, and he's offered to give a percentage of the money to the council if they're able to just let him in for a couple of days and dig it all up. And he believes that it's there. I mean, that might be hopium, it might be destroyed. So I mean, who knows? But I can't imagine losing hundreds of millions in crypto. I've got a bit of crypto, certainly not hundreds of millions, no. But terrible situation. I feel for the guy, which this camera's on me, right? I feel for you, my friend. Like empathy, gratitude. I hope you're okay. But if you want to come on the pod and talk about it, then let's go for it. But what are your takes on this, chaps? What do you think, Nick?
Well, I'm speechless on this. On one side, empathy with you, mate. Very sorry to see you in this situation, but also, how did you put yourself in this situation?
How do you lose a hard drive?
How can you lose 100 million?
227 million currently. I mean, it's up and down, right? But
yeah. And equally though, I think I would be cautious here in what I say, but it seems a little bit far-fetched. And there's just, while I can imagine how you might use AI for special mapping of the landfill and patterns of dumping into the usage, and try to predict where the location of the hard drive is. It is a hard drive, it's magnetic material. And landfill is full of stuff that is kryptonite to magnetic material. Is this even worth the chase? Assuming you find the hard drive, have you done any probabilistic calculations on how sure or confident you are that it is still usable? It's been there for decades, right? About a decade or so?
I don't know how long it's been there for, but even if it was just there for a year, that the rain, everything that happens and all the other stuff getting mixed in there, I mean, surely it's been destroyed. Surely.
Yeah, but I feel for you.
Yeah. What do you think? Is he an idiot or is he?
I don't think he's an idiot. I cast my mind back to when Bitcoin and crypto were starting, and it's easy to forget because of the ecosystem now what it was actually like to hold Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies back then. You typically had to have a physical device wallet, so like a hard drive, like a USB, something like that, right? Because I tried to buy some, and I was like, this is, when I was 14, I was like, this is complicated. I'm not going to do this. Yeah. So I empathize with the guy because I can see how you would make a physical wallet and then lose that, right? I think the headlines grab because it's like 227 million, but it's equally like if the guy had access to that crypto, he probably would have sold it by now. So it's it's a double-edged sword because it's only worth 227 million, probably because he didn't have access to it. So that's kind of something to consider.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
In terms of how likely it is that he's actually going to get access to this, I think really unlikely, to be honest. Yeah. He's done, it's hard to say without the context of his own calculations. I would say a hard drive is pretty volatile, right? I've built PCs for years for all sorts of purposes, and hard drives go wrong, being sat inside a computer, right? And so the fact that it's buried under landfill is, my hopes are low. But equally, I respect the hustle on this one. I think there is potentially a 227 million fortune there. It's a bit like a kind of pirate treasure hunt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be the one doing it.
Would you let it slide? Because for me, this could consume your life, and you would think about nothing else other than the fact that on paper I'm worth hundreds of millions, yet I'm working 60 hours a week doing a normal job and getting paid 40k a year or something, right? If this was you, could you mentally let this go, or would it ruin your life? Basically, what do you chaps think?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. But also, I just want to go back to your old point. I think there's also learning for us as a country here. If this was America, we would not be having this conversation. They would have already dug it out.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, this is This is us here sitting saying, the council is not letting me dig through a pile of rubbish to get to 27 million pounds. Imagine having that conversation in America. This would have been over with, right? I think as a country, we need to learn to at least take, as we would say in Amazon, it's a two-way door decision,
Yeah.
right? Dig it up, either you find it or you won't. Schrodinger's cat, you've solved the problem. Why are we sitting and talking about it? Just get on with it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And whatever environmental concerns you have, they're all valid. Let's find a way to solve them. Let's not talk about the problem. Let's go to the solution. And I would actually go and say, find a way to dig it and answer the question. But to go back to your question, Alfie, yeah, this will, I guess, initially it will consume me because it's not a small amount of money. But equally, I think I'd probably be pushing and pushing and pushing until I get to the dig myself.
Yeah, I think I would, the point where I give up would be when I get arrested for breaking in the middle of the night and then digging myself with a shovel. At that point, I'd probably call it a day, but and try and put it into a different coin or something. But what would you do?
I'm glad it's not me.
Yeah.
But if it were me, I think I'm a fairly stubborn bloke, so I would probably be like you, Nick, and I would not stop until I had some movement on this. I think, but equally though, if this guy's investing his own cash into this, I think that's a really dangerous path, right? Like somebody in his friends or his family needs to be like, okay, at what point, don't get gambler's fallacy on this one. Like, call it quits when, it is time. So I'm glad it's not me, because it would consume me.
Yes, no, I feel you.